If you can give us a summary of the 90 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I think we started a bit slow, and their press, they were very aggressive in the early stages, and our fullbacks, I think, were not that much involved in the build-ups because they were too high sometimes. And when we tried to improve that, to try and get them a little bit shallow so that we could be able to use them to come out, because with the press of the wingers who were from out to in, it made it very difficult to even find the eights deeper. But I think second half we improved that. We started coming out a lot from our build-ups. The speed of play was much better, because I think that was my other big concern at halftime, that I think the ball was not moving as fast as it should. And I think we improved tremendously in that regard. We created the opportunities that could have easily given us the game. But unfortunately, we committed very, very silly errors, because I think if you look where the penalty comes from, we had a free kick, and I think we were 5 around the ball. And we tried what I think was a very unproductive combination play, because there was no clarity on what we were trying to do there, and we could have easily maybe forced the opposition to defend facing their goals, but we were too close to one another, and against a team with so much speed, we were caught on a break. And I thought at the time when we committed a penalty, the situation was already better, because I think we could have contained the situation without lunging into the ball. But unfortunately, in football, these things, we are looking at them now later on, and we see what could have happened. That's why they say sometimes hindsight is the best side. But I think we created good chances to do something, and the fact that Sage became the man of the match, it also proves that we did our part. But I still don't think we created too many chances, which is something I would have really loved to see.
Questions from the floor? Any questions?
Coach, just one. Coach, if you can go all out on Sunday and win that game, would you wish to face Pirates in the final, considering that they beat you twice last season in the Nedbank as well as in the MTN8?
I do not want to be ahead of myself. I think the most important thing is to prepare for this match and go through and win this match. Because when we do that, we would be helping ourselves and giving ourselves a chance to get into another final. I do not think the finals we lost against Pirates, we lost because they were a better team, to be honest. I think we committed silly errors even there. I wouldn't say I wouldn't want to see again what would happen in a final that would include Pirates and Sundowns, but I don't want to be ahead of myself. At this stage, I think the most important thing is to prepare for the same Stellenbosch match and try to overcome the one goal lead that they have, which I strongly believe the team we have has got the capacity to do that. We must just maybe start well. I think we'll also be playing in a very good pitch, which I think will also add to the quality of football that can be expected.
Good evening, Coach. Unlike you on the result. You good?
Always.
Thank you, Coach. What are the positives that you're seeing from the side? Because it looks like, there's positive quality here. Are you worried about that, or do you think, you will get to where you want to be? Because, still in the stages, of course. But are you happy with what you see?
I would say sometimes I feel some of the best moments are few and far between. But I do see what we are trying to achieve, and I do see the team getting stronger. we progress, and I do see the team achieving more than what we achieved last season. But I just felt that we did not want to grab the control of the game, and we did not capitalize on, I think, the challenges they had in the wide channels. I think Terence was open from the beginning of the first half. Mudau was free for the better part of the first half, but we were not just rotating the ball enough to get into those areas. And when we did get into those areas, I think we always looked very potent. I'm very optimistic we are on the right track.
Thanks, Jules. Evening, Coach. You just mentioned now that the team didn't want to grab control of the match, and in the last two games, the team has struggled to get a goal, and the team looked good in the second half when Tembazwane came on. Are you now tempted in the second leg, Coach, to maybe start Tembazwane because maybe you might find a bit more control and maybe create more chances to get a goal?
I think I will be going ahead of myself if I already start to think of the lineup for the next match, when we still have so many training sessions to see what we can get, because the strategy will obviously have to be different. And it's a game that we have. One goal is not enough, and it's a game where I believe we will be a completely different team. Sometimes we need results like this in football if you still have a second chance, because when you've been doing well in all the matches, the friendlies, and everything that you have played, sometimes it creates an impression that you've got an entitlement to the results. Because I'm sure immediately after we conceded the goal, you started to see a completely different team. And you could see that now we want to get a goal. We are playing and we know what we are trying to do. And we've done this in many instances, and we do very well in those moments. But you don't want these situations to be created by you conceding first. You want the team to immediately start the game with that mentality. And to be honest, in as much as I complain about the control, but I think there were a lot of elementary mistakes that we did technically. We lost the ball cheap in moments where there was no that much of a stress from the opposition. And when we started to pick ourselves up, we always looked better. I think we finished the half very well, and we started the second half in a very good way, in my opinion. And we looked like we could get a goal anytime, but unfortunately, we missed some of the opportunities that I thought could have really helped the team.
Coach, especially in the first half, what would you say about the final ball? You know, just trying to release on the far side there was what's his name?
Terence.
Tashreeq, yes. And even trying to get to Peter, it wasn't, as crisp as you would, have hoped. What can you say about that, ball or the play in the final third?
Yeah, man, we were very unhappy as the technical team, because technically we made too many mistakes, and some of the mistakes, to a certain extent, are also forced by the pitch, because I believe there was one very good rotation from Marcelo Aubry, then he found Terence on the opposite side, and you expected Terence to immediately dash into the space and possibly find a cutback or a ball in between the defense and the goalkeeper. And at that moment, I don't know what happened. I saw the ball going back towards our goals. But the truth of the matter is we made too many elementary mistakes, and Tashreeq, I think it's the second match where he does not start very well. But what he has always done, which has always caused a lot of problems for us throughout the preseason, he would not start very well, but you would know he's somebody that has got a chance, and is somebody that always has a goal in him. And unfortunately, when he does not score, he does not create, it becomes very difficult for him, because at Sundowns, sometimes you need to grab that little opportunity that you get, because it does not come too often. But to be honest, I was very happy with his defensive play, his counter pressure, his readiness to assist the team whenever we were suffering. I think he was always there.
We'll take the last two questions if any. Start with Nchengo.
From sports coach, bad luck with the result, but definitely the silver lining in this is that you finished the first half strong and started the second strong, as well as whoever that walked into the match, seeing how you're pressing and all of that, could have easily thought that you guys won the match. Surely that must be one of the positives that you take out of this match. What else is it that you look at and say, I've got a starting point going into Sunday?
To be honest, I also gather a lot of lessons from matches like this, because when you are playing against a team like Stellenbosch, you are often made to see what the PSL is going to look like, because a lot of teams will always have this low block and they can sporadically try to press you from the top, but it's not their main intention. Their main intention is to draw you closer and open the space behind so that they can capitalize on that. I think our centre-backs can be a little bit more decisive in dealing with these situations, either by breaking the press and killing the space behind, or trying to win almost all the balls that are played, because whenever we've gone and won those challenges, we immediately initiate an attack, and it's always the big moments that are created from a long ball against these teams, because whenever they get the ball and play forward and you are able to win and establish play immediately to try and finding a penetrative pass, there is always a chance to get something. We want to rely sometimes a lot on our build-up, and yet I think there is so much to benefit from transitions that you can get from the opposition, because most of these teams get more excited whenever they've got possession of the ball. They are more dangerous when they don't have the ball. But when they've got the ball, I think there's a lot of benefits we can benefit from that.
Coach, commiserations on the loss today. Kamokholo from Soccer Laduma. I just wanted to touch on Kukwano Lukaku. He obviously had a good time with the youth national team earlier on in the month, and now you've given him the first appearance of the season. Excuse me. Can we expect to see more of him, and what have you seen of him during your preseason in Austria and to the build-up of these games that you'd give him more of a chance, I'd say, throughout the season?
I can guarantee you he's going to be one of our big revelations for this season. He has done exceptionally well from preseason, and he has got some terrific goals. Very instrumental in our attacking play, strong and very incisive on 1-against-1. But he's got an eye for a goal, and he's also a very good passer of the ball. And even in this game, he played a very good pass for Temba. I think that boy is a very big talent. If there's someone that I think has got a realistic chance to go overseas, is that boy. I rate him very highly. Technically, very smooth, very broad shoulders. He's never scared of anything. He's ready to take on any challenge. I see a very bright future ahead of him, but he must keep his feet on the ground and stay humble. And we must also help him with that, because I believe if he can do that, there's a very big chance that he will be a big success at Sundowns.